Fuck.
My mentality going in was, my grandfather, he retired out of the Air Force. And he was one of the biggest roles in my life, somebody I've always looked up to him. And when I joined, I was like 20 years. I'm doing 20, retiring. And that's what I really wanted to do. But, shit happened and got cut short.
Yeah.
But I'm, I guess, not mad about it. You can't be mad about it.
Well, I'm sure you were at first. No?
Yeah.
Not a little bit?
I don't know.
Because clearly it wasn't your... we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But, so you came back from your first deployment, your E1, right?
Yeah. And that's the whole reason why I stayed in Germany. Because I didn't want to be that E1 with a combat patch, PCS, and do another post. Like, what kind of shit?
They don't know you.
What kind of shitbag are you?
Yeah.
And I already had a reputation built. Like, I had a big hiccup in my career, but like I already earned respect or this, that, and the other thing. And like, nah, I'll re-enlist, but I'm staying here. Like, I'm not going anywhere else. I'm staying here. And it ended up working in my favor. So I re-enlisted, stayed there. It was 2 years in between because, like the whole 1 year rotation. Yeah. So I had 2 years in between deployments, and I ended up building myself back up. I was E4 promotable before we left in 2013 for my second deployment.
Okay.
But I didn't have points because over in Germany, they don't send you for schools, for nothing. Like, there's no schooling because the Army didn't want to pay to send us back to the States for the schooling. Like, so if we ever got our, I forgot what they call them, but every now and then they send classes over to Germany, training, do this and that. But then, like, you had to be like a PT stud. Yeah. You had to be top of the class, you top of this, top of that to go to that school. So me, I'm not. No, I'm not making none of that.
Yeah. We got that. They call it like an order of merit list, and they're like, it doesn't mean anything because we send the same fucking people over and over. Yeah, but yeah, if a fucking class ever comes up like sapper school,
sapper,
they sent me, and I was missing paperwork, so I made it through the first formation. I didn't get to the second formation. I lasted at sapper school about a whopping 20 minutes, and got my ass chewed out for it by the first sergeant too. Nice. Let me put it that way. He thought I was being a smart ass when he's like, what rank are you? Because I was in PTs, because you're supposed to take a PT test right when you get there. So I walk in, I hand my paperwork, and I mean, they do it fucking weekly almost, or bi-weekly.
Oh, wow.
So, they pick up classes all the time. So they know what they're looking for, and I make it through the orders, and something else is like, where's your orders, and where's your, like, whatever, your fucking service record. And then second table is medical. So I give him my physical paperwork, 28, whatever the fuck it's called. And he looks at it and he goes, go stand over by the pull-up bars. And it's like fucking 15 feet behind his table. So I stand over there, and I go to parade rest. I'm like, I better fucking be on my P's and Q's, you know what I mean? So I'm standing there. Everybody else runs over to another formation for the PT test, where they're going to get briefed how to do the PT test.
Yeah.
Like, you ever fucking do like you never took it before. So I see a guy in fucking the pants and the sapper shirt walking over to me with his fucking cover on, and I see it's a captain, and right behind him, first sergeant. So the captain goes, so what's your problem? What's your deal? And I'm still at parade rest, and I was like, sir, I was told something with my medical. And the medical guy comes over, some E4, and he's like, yeah, he's missing paperwork. He's missing the third page of his medical physical. And he goes, you didn't come out, you don't have any other paperwork. And I said, that's everything, sir. So the first sergeant looks at me and he goes, what rank are you? Again, I'm in PTs. And I was like, E6 staff sergeant. And he goes, you didn't think to look over your paperwork? And I was like, the medical staff gave me the paperwork. I just kind of took it and turned it into my
supposed to do their job, right?
Yeah. That's what I said. I was like, I kind of expected them to do their job. Yeah. He paused for a brief second, and he fucking, how about you fucking go to position of attention when you're addressing an officer? He's like, you're not going to get a...
Now he's full, fucking hand chopping mode.
He's like, you're going to be a fucking smart ass, and what the fuck did he say? Something about being a smart ass. I just went to the position of attention, did the stare, and I just got my ass chewed out for a whopping, 45 seconds. And he's like, then he goes, bye. And I was like, what do I do now? So I fucking had to grab all my gear, walk back up to the barracks, and call a cab. Yeah, it was sapper school didn't even last 24 hours for me. But yeah, the whole order of merit list and points thing, I didn't realize any of that until I did my first packet, which I did the entire packet to get promoted to staff sergeant. And they came out with a policy as long as you have time and grade and time in service, the needs of the Army will promote you, and they promoted me into a drill sergeant unit.
Did you get promoted active or reserve?
Reserve, yeah.
Okay, so it was a lot different than...
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I know E6, you still had to go to board for 6.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I lived in the barracks for like a few weeks till the wife got there. And then, I mean, I moved off base, had a fucking... It was a 4-bedroom house. I made it into like 5 or whatever. Didn't pay nothing. I mean, if I wanted a cable, I paid my cable. Yeah. Or a phone. So I got a fucking free house, off base, away from everything. I'm like, yeah, cool. I didn't get charged for nothing. I'm like, yeah, I'll take it.
Oh, yeah. I got so pissed on Thursday field days, like when you clean the fucking barracks.
So and I'm a corporal. I lived off base. Yep. I didn't have to deal with none of that.
I had 4.5 years active duty because I did 2 extensions. And I'd have some fucking PFC show up straight from comm school. And he's married, living out in the bed. I'm like, I gotta fucking clean this shit till 11 o'clock at night and you get to go home. I said, fuck you, motherfucker.
She got married?
I know. Yeah, in hindsight, I'm looking back. I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I didn't get married. I mean, I knew guys that did. But just the amount of I'm sure the divorces and the problems. For me,
well, what they say? What 70% of military marriages don't work?
It's a fucking high number.
It is though, because we're always so demanding. Like we're demanded of. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, okay, the Army wants us here. They want us to do this. They want us to do that. But then on the other side, your wife wants you here. They want you to do that.
Yeah.
You want now.
I had a guy.
Where you at?
I had a guy's wife show up to a field day for me because he had to be there. He's married, so he lives off base, but he had to be at the formation. Yeah, he had to stay there for like the first initial half hour to clean. And his wife heard about this, so she drove on base and she wanted to talk to the first sergeant.
Oh boy,
why he was there?
I bet that went over well.
We all kind of looked and we're like, I'm not listening to this. Like I'm walking away from this. The amount that I kept my head down and just stared at my feet in the Marine Corps was quite a bit. Like I just kind of focused on me, like the whole gossip thing. And then after I got out and I talked to some buddies on the internet, the amount of stuff that I heard, and I was like, I wasn't aware of any of that. Like I just kind of I kept blinders on, you know what I mean?
That's what you got to do sometimes though.
It's weird, but looking at the Germany thing, that'd be fucking cool to get stationed in Germany.
We ran into each other, what was it, 2012 you said?
Yeah, March 2012.
So I just got home. No, I was home for a while because I left for my second deployment, July 2013. So I was in between my 2 deployments when you came over for your little training. Yep. I love Germany though. Germany was awesome.
I wish
Germany was the shit. If you would have got to experience it,
yeah.
Dude, I played softball a lot, so I could travel. I mean, hell, I get on temporary orders. I get out at training events. I get 4-day weekends during the summer, and my commander, he had to okay it because it was above his pay grade. He get pissed at me. He goes, "How the fuck do you get to go play softball when we gotta go live in the field for 5 days?" I'm like, I don't know. Be good at something, dude. No, we traveled Germany all over. Every weekend during the summer. I mean, I'm traveling different base to base to base. Even if it was Air Force or Army, it didn't matter. We were playing, softball. It was community.
I think I saw pictures. I could swear I saw pictures.
Played for Team Bavaria, which consisted of 4 different bases, trying out, make the team, and then I ended up making the team for 4 years straight, and it was awesome. I had so many people jealous of me though. I'm like, you're going to the fucking field. I'm going to play softball. Fuck you guys. While you're sitting there sucking on guard, I'm going to be drinking the beer.
This is so fucking weird. I was talking to my mom a couple days ago, and she said something about Marine Corps this and Marine Corps that. And I said, you know what, fuck the Marine Corps. And I haven't said this, and I'm going to put this in because Marine Corps birthday just came up right before Veterans Day.
I have a good friend that is Marine Corps.
So I'm tired of all my buddies putting the Marine Corps picture, and I didn't this year. I think I did in years past, but I didn't this year. But I was really thinking about it, and I said, fuck the Marine Corps. The Marine Corps really treated me like shit, even though I never really did anything wrong.
Yeah.
And again, looking at on a board, what I had on paper was pretty outstanding for what I think an average Marine to be. And they didn't promote me. They really threw me under the bus. I wanted to re-enlist. I was trying to go MARSOC, and I was a little bit overweight.
I think we were talking about that a while back, when you were coming over, when you actually were first talking about going into the Army or something.
Yeah. So they didn't believe that I would pass, and they fucked with me about my weight, and they're like, you can't tape out. But yeah, I had a first class. The Marine Corps does like their PT test, like if it's first class, second class, third class. I had a first class. I had a pretty high PT test. The CFT came out, the combat fitness test. I had
they actually put that in effect?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Oh, wow.
I had a first class CFT. I shot expert on the range. No blemishes. And then another thing that they do is they do pros and cons. They have some weird fucking points. But I had above average. Everything on paper looked great. Yeah. And really, I think I was a pretty decent Marine. So when it came time to do something like this, where I was like, I want to do something else that the Marine Corps can offer, rather than just being told what to do, they didn't like it. So what they did was kick me the fuck out. They're like, hey, we don't have any space for you to re-enlist, so...
They pretty much just barred you or whatever.
Right.
Yeah,
So, yeah, they really threw me to the wolves, and I didn't have a plan. That was my biggest concern. Like, I didn't have anything in... like, because I thought I was going to re-enlist. So when they're just like, you're done.
Yep.
You know, turn your stuff in to see, SIF,
I know exactly what you mean there. Yeah, I hear that part.
Fuck, that was a terrible feeling driving out that gate for the last time, and I was like, the fuck do I do, man? So I really wanted to tell people this on the Marine Corps birthday, but I was like, I'm not going to fucking do it. I thought there was more effort in doing it and explaining myself, but I was like, fuck, the Army's treated me way better than the Marine Corps has ever fucking treated me. And I've been in the Army longer, and I'm like, I got to stop trying to affiliate myself with fucking the Marine Corps. But
once a Marine, always a Marine. I get that aspect. It's always going to be instilled in you.
There's parts
You're
of it
still going to be a crayon eater. It's okay.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it is two different worlds. It definitely is. But you can't completely throw that aside because it still has some effect of who you are today.
Yes, absolutely. But if I really could have... And a funny story, going back to when we first joined, I called the wrong number. I was getting Army phone calls on my answering machine. I remember over the summer I was cutting the grass and I came inside. My mom was like, hey, the Army called for you. And I was like, okay, cool. So when it came time where I was like, okay, I'm actually going to do this, I went to call the Army, and a Marine recruiter picked up and he goes, Marine recruiting, Sergeant Castle, how can I help you, sir or ma'am? And I was like, I was looking for the Army. And he goes, why? I said, I don't know.
They called me?
He goes, what's your address? I'll be right over. And he was over fucking within 2 hours and gave me that practice ASVAB. Yep. That's how I became a Marine. I called the wrong number.
Damn.
But yeah, no, absolutely. There are certain things that I hold, like certain values that I was taught. But looking on, if I could have went back, and again, I think the Army just has way more to offer. And I just think again, maybe I could have went infantry. Maybe I could have fucking did something that I wanted.
Everybody always has something better to offer than what you have right now. I look at it that way. There's always something better than what you have right now, if you look at it that way. But I don't know. You just got to be happy with what you got.
No, you're absolutely right. And there's another aspect of what you were just saying about the whole playing softball. I got a buddy in South Carolina. He got put on the Marine Color Guard for the division. So he got to go to like Mardi Gras and like just walk down the street, carry the flag, and then after that, take the fucking uniform off and go party.
Yeah.
He traveled across the country doing that.
Got paid to do it.
You got paid to do it.
Yep.
You are one of those weird, mysterious flaws that the military has, and you're like, how the fuck do you get into that? How the fuck do you get
I got paid to play softball over in Germany and absolutely loved it. It was
seriously,
awesome.
Other guys are like, I didn't do anything wrong. I want to play softball too. And whoever's in charge is just like, fucking no. Go back to doing what you're doing.
Yep.